go. From the mountains of central British Columbia to you listening around the world, this, my friends, is Spaced Out Radio. I am your host, Dave Scott, sitting in the captain's chair of SOR headquarters on a beautiful bright blue sky as we broadcast this. We welcome you to tonight's show on our terrestrial affiliates around North America and digitally on Revolution Radio and TalkStream Live. If you want to take a listen to our archives, they are free at youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Just do me the favor, hit that subscribe button. Follow us on Twitter at Spaced Out Radio for the show, my personal handle at Dave Scott SOR, and on Instagram at Spaced Out Radio Show. Our website is spacedoutradio.com, where we have a plethora of features for you, including rocking out to Bumblefoot and reading up on the SOR News Wire. Tonight's show is brought to you by Chive Charities. Help make the world 10% happier by visiting Chive Charities today. You can find them on our website. The highly advanced subject of ET contact is always one that either puts you on one side of the ledger or the other. And this is where things get interesting, everyone, because when it comes to ET contact, we've heard the stories. We've heard the experiences people are having. I'm an experiencer. I have no problem admitting that. Many of you out there are experiencers. Our guest tonight, Yossi Ronen, has an amazing story that he's going to tell you tonight about his alien connection. First started in 1981, Yossi is a contact experiencer currently living in Israel. He had his first experience with non-human intelligences while sleeping in his bed. What started out as a benign dream then turned extremely scary as Yossi realized he and his home, they were not safe from the invaders from the sky. And we're going to learn more about this momentarily. Then at the bottom of hour number 3, I will bring you the SOR Newswire, brought to you by Paranoia Magazine. Mr. Yossi Ronen, good to have you here on Spaced Out Radio for the first time. Good morning to you all the way in Israel. Thank you for getting up early and spending your morning with us.
Good morning. It's great that you have me here, Dave.
It is very good to have you here as well. 1981, 39 years ago, my friend. Previous to that date, did you ever believe in extraterrestrials up to that point?
No, not at all. I was a young man, looking for a job in United States. It didn't happen in Israel. It happened in the Valley and Los Angeles. My brother has a small business there, painting houses, and he wanted me to come to help him. So it was a great opportunity to earn some money. And I didn't have any kind of interesting in this kind of things, not UFOs, not spiritual things or nothing. And, those years, it was no internet or even books about that. Maybe there were books that I didn't know about, but I didn't know nothing till it happened to me straight away like this.
So how old were you when you first started learning about this subject the hard way?
Well, I was 21, and after the experience, I was, I was mainly shocked by that because I didn't know that other people have this. Other people have this experience, and I didn't know how to digest it. At the beginning, I thought it was too weird to be truth, even though that it was totally reality, and it influenced my awareness, and I had physical influence by that for a couple of days. I still didn't know how to understand it. And from that day on, it seems that my life is going around that. I mean, I can say that almost all my free time I devoted to understand this situation that happened to me and to many, many others, that I started to understand that I'm not alone.
Now, around you, was the topic of UFOs ever a subject that you talked about with family or friends?
Well, at the beginning, I decided not to talk about that because I knew how is the reaction going to be. The first one that I started to talk about that was 5 years after the connection. When I realized that I'm not alone and it happened to many others, it was when I saw the book of, what's his name? Communion, the name of the book, of William Stryber.
Strieber, yes.
You know him?
Yes.
It was when I was in a bookstore and I saw the cover of the book with the face of the alien. And I was almost fainted to know that, to see this face on a book. And it was the first time that I saw that others saw that face. And when I read the book at the same day, I realized that all what happened to me was really, really concrete. And I was not confused or mixing my imagination or stuff like that. And the first one that I wanted to tell the story was my mother. And it was after I came back from United States, and I told her the story. And she almost cried. And I told her, "What's going on? Why you take it? Why you so?" And she said, "You probably took drugs when you were in United States." And this was the first reaction that I had, and many others, like friends of friends. My close friends knew that I'm talking the truth because they knew me. But other people had the two kinds of reactions. Like half of them was sure that I was on drugs or something because it's very similar to LSD trip. And the other thought that I maybe had some mental situation. This is the main reactions of people that they don't know about that subject and they're trying to understand it rationally. To talk about UFOs, it's okay, but to say that you saw these green little beings and you had communication with them, well, it's a different thing.
Yossi, you're going through this tough time with your family once your experiences started. We're going to get into those experiences starting at the bottom of the hour here when we come back from the break. But, what was the reaction that you had from a lot of people out there who you were trying to reach out to? Did they believe you, or did you feel like you were all alone?
Yes, in the beginning, 30 years from now, it's a very big mystery for most of the people, and because they don't talk. We don't talk. It's not ordinary thing to talk about in the television or in the communication things. So it's a very hidden subject, and for me it was very difficult to talk about because it's the main thing that I'm busy in my life, and it influenced me so much, and I couldn't talk about that because I knew the reaction. But there were a couple of people here in Israel and in the world that started to talk, and so I could talk with them and try with them with their experiences to understand what happened and what's going on.
I understand that, and I can appreciate that, because how alone did you feel when this all went down?
What do you mean all went down?
Well, when you had your experiences, when they first started.
I felt very I mean, after you mean after the contact or in the
Yeah.
contact?
During
After the contact,
let's go after the contact for right now.
I felt very alone. I mean, I felt very confused. I was worried that I saw something that it's not reality. It was too weird. It was too far out. It was, I mean, the connection itself was in a different level of my consciousness, and it looked like a dream. It's looked like uh, the ability of them to communicate is so different that, and you don't know it. I mean, it's and you think that something is very weird happened to you, and you don't know how to digest it. So I felt very alone with that. And when you feel so different, you very fast think that there is maybe something wrong with you because you had a different experience.
Did you feel violated? Did you feel sick to your stomach?
On the contact?
Well, no, I'm saying like after you thought about it. We're going to get more into the contact of what happened at the bottom of the hour, but just I'm going on the personal level right now in getting your feeling of what went on.
Well, because of the contact had two stages. I mean, it was very frightened in the beginning, but then it was very, very good and very much inspiring. I didn't have a bad feelings about the contact itself, but a very bad feeling about to be different and to think about something that most of the people don't think and don't waste their time even to think about it or to understand it. So it was a very lonely experience, and to be different, it's not so easy, especially when you cannot talk about it. If we had a very strong experience, when we talk about it, it makes it easy. But I couldn't talk about it because I was afraid that people gonna, tag me as a loony.
Very true. Very true. And that's the problem that we all go through with this situation is we don't know who we can confide in. What, do we trust our best friends? Do we trust our priest or our minister if we go to church? Do we trust our family with this? How did you decide that you were going to come out and talk to people about it? How hard was that for you?
Yes, it was. I told you, 5 years I didn't talk about that. I didn't tell it to anyone. Only after I read this book of Stryber, and in this book there are many other people experiences that he included in the book, and that was a very a strong time for me to understand that it was truth, and I decided to start to talk about that because I knew that it is very important, not only for me, but for all. And I'm not such a, I'm a little bit shy, and it's not easy for me to talk about that. But I knew that it's important, and the things that I understood and the way of the connection with them let me understand a little bit more about what is going on. So I knew that I have to talk about that. One for me, for my, for myself, and for others that want to understand what is going on. I started to talk about that. But only from 2017, I started to talk about that publicly, not only for my friends.
Was that a tough decision for you?
Little kids, and the thought that people in the class going to talk with with my children and say, "Hey, your father saw a little green man." The thought about that hold me not to talk about it openly, and things like that, or even in work. If I'm looking for a work in a company, and they're going to find out that this guy say that he saw a little green man and talked with them, they're going to fire me on the instance. So it's a very hard decision to talk about that.
A lot of people hold it in. A lot of people don't want to talk. At what point did you feel that you needed to talk about it? Because for a lot of people who have these experiences, myself included, we always go through this feeling of, am I healthy? Am I okay? Am I mentally stable? Did I imagine this? How did you deal with that?
Exactly. This is one of the main things that happened to you. And the way I manage with that was to learn as much as I can on fields that is connected to what happened to me. I mean, it's like to understand the physical situation that happened with them, the consciousness environment that I was with them, and with talking to others, it helped me to see many different situations and reactions to that contact. So the way I treated this was to understand it logically and in a rational way, so I can talk about that and really understand it. And in the past 5 years, I went into the science of that thing. There are, some fields that the science that talk about our mental understanding, our consciousness, and the way the brain perceives reality. So that was my way to find a way to rational understand, and I started to write for myself. And now I can talk about it with like a rational thing that I know what happened.
Yossi, as we only got about 4.5 minutes here before we got to go to break at the bottom of the hour, for people who have never experienced this phenomena before, how does your life change when you go through this?
In a very deep sense, because I was not interested in that thing in any way, and the contact has a very deep consciousness and even spiritual thing. And from the minute I had the contact, the way I see reality is very different, and it changed many things in my life. It's I see reality much more different than I saw it before.
Do you like the person you become, or do you wish it was different?
Well, I can say that I like the person that changed, but it had many difficult outcomes too, because my life turned from a man that live his life and try to be normal like everyone is. I had to now live around it, and I had a strong, almost obsession to understand what happened and to try to explain it to others, because I heard many experiences that had bad experience, and they didn't know how to understand it, and it became to a situation that hundreds of thousands of people that talk about a nightmare-like connection, and it came to be a situation that many people afraid of that, and they think that it's reptilians that gonna eat us and things like that. That I couldn't be not talk about my experience that was different, and try to make people relax about this and to help people about that.
Mm-hmm. Do you feel it's now your duty to help others?
I don't know if it's a duty. It's a decision. I'm almost 60 now, and I know that I don't have many years to live, and I have to help other people to digest it, to understand it, because it have many good outcomes. I know that the contact with them going to have a very good influence on all of us on many fields. I think that it's going to change our the way we treat each other, and the way we see our existence very differently from many ways of looking. And because I learned that so much, and I understood the positive of this, I have this urge to talk about that and to try to make the understanding to the positive understanding, and not because we have all a choice to understand it in a bad way or a good way, and I want to help to understand it in a good way, because I believe this is the truth.
Yossi, I'm going to get you to hold on right there. We're going to go to break at the bottom of the hour. Yossi Ronen is our guest tonight on Spaced Out Radio. We are talking about ET contact, what it's like to be an experiencer on Spaced Out Radio.
Hey, space travelers, this is John Resig, founder of the Chive and Chive Charities. If you know anything about our website, you know we like to do things a little differently. We're not some faceless organization collecting money for a nebulous cause. Our donor dollars go directly toward life-improving items. Then we give those items directly to an underdog who needs it most. To become a donor with Spaced Out Radio's official charity, Chive Charities, just go to chivecharities.org/donate.
From the heartlands of Canada to beards around the world, we know how to take care of you. Fill your follicles with the Mighty Moose Beard Oil. All our oils and balms are handmade and 100% natural ingredients because we care about your beard. And hey, use the promo code SOR2019 and get your Mighty Moose Beard Oil today. You can check us out on our website, mightymoosebeard.com.
Hello, this is your guitar man, Ron Bumblefoot Thal, and I have to tell you, I love the response I get for Little Brother is Watching from Spaced Out Radio fans. It's amazing how music can inspire and make people think deeper about what's going on in the supernatural world. You can head over to my website, bumblefoot.com, to check out my music, my guitar workshops, my touring, even check out some of the hot sauces that I'm working on. And make sure you keep on listening, because with Spaced Out Radio, you know Little Brother is watching.
Hey everybody, the SOR Space Travelers is open. For just $5 a month, you can hang out with Dave and our crew privately in our members-only section. With your signing, you'll receive newsletters on what's going on with Spaced Out Radio. You'll have direct contact with the host during the show in our chat, live streaming videos, and a great forum for your posts and more. Become a space traveler now at spacedoutradio.com.
You wanted new SOR gear, and now you can have it. The SOR Vault is fully stocked with t-shirts, hats, hoodies, mugs, and everything in between, with great logos for you to choose from. So head on over to spacedoutradio.com, click on the SOR Vault, and go shopping. Pricing is quite affordable, and you can look good representing your favorite show. So go to our website and pick up your new SOR wear at the SOR Vault today.
If you like it hot, real hot, then heat up your meals with Bumblefoot hot sauce.
Get your Bumblefoot hot sauce today. The sauce, Bumblicious, and the 4 million Scoville unit Bumble. We're going in hot, real hot, coming out even hotter.
Keep the milk nearby and tantalize your taste buds tonight.
Bumblefoot hot sauce, available now at kajans.com.
Cold drinks, great food, and the best music in Vancouver. The Moose Vancouver is the place to be, open until 2 a.m. nightly. Everything on the menu starts at just $6.95. Who serves food that cheap anymore? At the Moose, you'll never know who you'll run into. Rock stars, actors, athletes. It's the place everyone wants to be. So join us at the Moose Vancouver, the official party bar of Spaced Out Radio.
Hello, Space Travelers. It's me again, Carl. Don't forget to join the Space Travelers Club for just $5 a month and follow Spaced Out Radio on Twitter at Spaced Out Radio. Our Instagram, Dave Scott SOR. Our Facebook page is Spaced Out Radio Show. Our archives are free at youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Come woo it up with Spaced Out Radio today. Bye!
Are you looking for great advertising value for your company? Look no further than Spaced Out Radio. We have a multitude of places to get your name out there, including commercial ads during the show, special promotions, and banners on our website. Our audience is proven to support the companies that support our show. We can make your budget work for you. So for more information, please contact us at sales@spacedoutradio.com.
At spacedoutradio.com, we are keeping you up to date on all the news with the SOR Newswire. Captain Shirk leads the team that is bringing you the news of the day and exclusive stories on everything paranormal and supernatural. It's free to read, it's updated daily, and it's right there for you. The SOR Newswire is a one-stop shop for the news of the day. Check it out at spacedoutradio.com today.
We're taking Sunday nights out of this world on Spaced Out Radio. This is Michael W. Hall, also known as the Paranormal Lawyer. Together, we're going to go on an exciting journey into the unknown. I'm going to bring you some of the best interviews in the paranormal and supernatural to start your new week off on a freaky note. So tune in to Spaced Out Sundays with me, Michael W. Hall, only on spacedoutradio.com.
Welcome back to the second half hour of Spaced Out Radio tonight. I am your host, Dave Scott, sitting in the captain's chair of SOR headquarters. Thank you so much for joining us. We really do appreciate your time wherever you are listening. Reminder to all of you that if you've missed portions of this show or others, you can check out our free archives by going to youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Just do me the favor, hit that subscribe button. Our website, spacedoutradio.com. We have the SOR Newswire, Rock Out to Bumblefoot. A lot of features on there. Some may even say it's a plethora of features. Of course, follow us on Twitter at Spaced Out Radio for the show. My personal handle at Dave Scott SOR. And if you're an Instagrammer, follow us at Spaced Out Radio Show, and my personal handle at Dave Scott SOR as well. We are talking aliens tonight. Nothing better than a little aliens, because you know what? For some of us out there, this is all way too real. And our guest tonight, Yossi Ronen, down in Israel, all the way from Israel, where it's very early in the morning, very early. We welcome him in tonight to talk about his ET experiences. Yossi, welcome back.
Hello, Dave.
Good to have you here, my friend. Now, let's start off with your own contact, because in the last half hour, you said you never really followed this subject. You had nothing to do with it until 1981. Let's go back to when you're 21 at 1981. Tell me about that day, how it started off before this event happened.
Yes, I just want to say before that my English is not so much sophisticated. I don't have chance to talk English much here in Israel. So it's going to be a very simple English, and I'm going to talk slow. So I hope it's okay.
Not a problem. Not a problem. We love you here anyways.
Great. So as I said, it happened in Los Angeles when I was living with my brother in the valley. And at that day, we came back from work at afternoon. It's a very physical, hard work. We were painting houses, and we both went to rest. My brother in his living room, in his bedroom, and I was sleeping in the living room. And I went to sleep. A very ordinary day. And the second that I closed my eyes, it started. I mean, it was the first time in my life that I had the out-of-body experience. All of a sudden, I saw myself sleeping from the outside. And in the years after that, I understood that my family have it oftenly. It seems like it's in my family. We had lots of out-of-body experiences and clinical death. So it's that was the first time that I had it. It was it's a very weird feeling and very good feeling to be out of your body, because I was suddenly watching myself sleeping with the face to the wall, and the feeling of out of body is very light, and the minute it happened to you, you understand that you are not only your body, because you see yourself, your body sleeping, and you are there, and you don't have a different body. I mean, you it's like you are awareness, and I felt good in that situation, and I was looking around the room. And that was the first time that I saw them. I saw a couple of creatures in the room, and they were they looked very like children, but they have a different form of body. They were green for me. They have big black eyes, and they were walking in the room in a very cheerful way. I mean, there were 5 or 4 creatures there, and they were looking at my room. They were looking at the television, touching things, and in that situation that I was in the out of my body, I felt very good and relaxed with them, and we knew each other. And we were laughing a lot. And we had the communication in that in that experience of out of body. We had a communication that I don't remember. And then I woke up from that out of body, and I thought that I had a dream. I thought that I had a very weird dream with little green creatures that walking in my room, and I still was with my face to the wall. And I woke up because I heard the noise in the room, like footsteps and moving things. And I remember that I locked the door of the apartment. So I started to think that there are thieves in my room. And I started to, my heart started to bump. And I turned around and sit on the bed to face them. And suddenly I saw those creatures that I saw in the dream. I thought it was a dream on that situation. And in that instance, I was almost paralyzed from fear, because the first thing that you think is that you think that you woke up and you didn't, because it was the same creatures that you saw in your dream a minute ago. And you are afraid that something wrong is happened to you. I punched myself to see him awake, and the pain was real, and I understood that I'm awake. And so I now try to understand what is going on. What is happening to me now? And one of them was standing near my bed, looking half a meter from me, looking at me, and with his big black, frightening eyes. And I was, paralyzed in the bed, sitting and watching them, don't know what to do. And the fear started to grow even stronger, because I started to feel that he knows my feelings, he knows my thoughts, he knows everything about me, and it was very frightening, because I started to feel that he's controlling me. How he got inside myself, inside my feelings, inside my thoughts, and I thought that he is violently go into my body and mind, and he's doing whatever he wants. It was very frightening. It's like he's much bigger than me, he's much stronger than me. He's like he can swallow me very easily. A very frightened situation.
Mm-hmm.
And
the aliens that you were describing, you said little green men. Were they really little green men?
Well, this is something that I'm going to talk later, because I try to tell what happened then without my grown understanding after that. My understanding after that knew that the way they look to me, it's connected with my way of understanding what I see. And they are not really physical. They are physical, but not the way we understand about only physical things. It's like they are physical and not. When they met me, they can be in a physical dimension like us, but still the way I see them, it's connected to the way I translate them. And they can change. The way we see them can be different for each one of us. That's what they told me after that. The years after that, they tried to explain me what I saw. And this is the answer to your question.
Okay, so the beings that you had this contact with that first time, did you feel they were benevolent, that they were peaceful, or were you quite scared and felt that something horrific was going to happen?
In the beginning, when I woke up and opened my eyes, it was the most horrific thing that I felt in my life. It was very close to a fear of death, because they are very, very, very strong compared to us in all the levels of we can say in everything, their emotions, their understanding, their spiritual power, the way they see, they are so strong that I felt so small, so it was horrific. And I didn't know what to do in that situation. And the good thing that happened in that situation for me is that I remember the dream a minute ago. And the dream, we were laughing together, and the situation was good. So I didn't know what else to do. I tried to think that maybe the fear is something that is made from myself. I scared myself, and actually the truth is that they are good, like they were in the dream, and I tried to relax my fear. And in the minute I did that, I started to relax and understand that the truth is that the same like they understand my thoughts and can connect to myself, I can do that with them too. They are open, and I can feel them as well. And after the fear gone...
Yeah, go ahead,
yes.
Sorry.
No, I hear you, yes.
Okay, so when you were communicating with them, this had to be a real confusing moment for you. The fact that this isn't supposed to be happening. You're supposed to be having a terrifying experience, and the next thing, they're trying to communicate.
Yes. What happened that they tried to communicate from the beginning, but because it was so different for me to communicate in that situation, I didn't know how to do that. What happened actually was that their way of connection is to be one with. They don't talk. The telepathy that was going on was not in the way that we think about telepathy. What we think about it is like someone sends thoughts to your mind and you send a response. But actually the way they do it is to connect with your consciousness as one. And my reaction for this one was to be terrified, because it was the first time I felt a different consciousness in mine. It's a real definition of someone is crazy. You hear voices in his head. And it's very frightened. But when my fear become much easier because of the dream before, I started to watch these voices, and I understand that they are just talking with me from from this oneness with them. In the beginning, the fear of their communication was like a noise in my head, a very noise, and it's like a train that is going to bump your head and kill you. But when I got easy with that communication, I started to feel their consciousness. When I released myself to be one with them.
Yes. Did you feel that this was a lifelong connection? Or did you feel that this was something brand new that you were supposed to explore?
Well, in the out-of-body experience before, something in me knew that I know them, but I didn't know how. And till now, I don't know what if there was a past with them. If I knew them before, I don't know really. But when we started communication, when I let the communication to be, they were just open from my understanding and my consciousness, and they let me go inside their consciousness. They let me know what they know, to feel what they feel. And that started to be the most amazing, beautiful thing that I had in my life, after the most fearful one.
Interesting. Interesting. What was the size of these beings?
Meter and half, like small children. But the skin was very wrinkled, like old men.
Right.
Their fingers are very long. I don't remember how many fingers they had. I think 5, I don't know. But their eyes was the most strong thing. They are black and very big, in a big head. They didn't have ears. They had a small mouth without lips. And they looked different from each other. One was very, very skinny, and the other one was a little bit chubbier. And when we started to communicate, they were all, I think that they were surprised that I'm awake and see them with my eyes opened and I'm full conscious. I think that they were surprised. I don't know. Maybe they planned it, but I really don't know if they planned it or no. But the minute they realized that I'm connected with them, they were all standing and watching me, and started to communicate with me.
Now, this was the first time this happened to you. How long did this experience last?
I really don't know, because there was no time, solid time to observe. I think it was very, very short, because even that it was a good experience after the fear, it was very short. My body was very... It was very difficult to my body. First, the fear was very difficult, and then the good feeling was very strong, even too much. I mean, it's like a very strong frequency of something very high that you cannot stand it. Even love and happiness, if it's too strong, it's very hard for you to digest and to have if you don't used to it. So I think it was 1.5 minutes or 2 minutes, but the capacity of the communication in that 1 minute or 2 was almost endless, because it was not limited by time. It was pure consciousness connection.
Okay. Now, when you were going through this entire ordeal, did you see other people around you, or were you just individually there?
I was alone in the room with them. My brother was sleeping in the other room.
Interesting.
I mean,
okay.
When we communicate, the most stronger thing was to experience their consciousness that was different. I mean, the way they understand reality is is much different from us. It's look like they understand the way we see a reality, but they have a higher dimension of understanding our reality, and they can be noticed of a lot of things that we are not aware of. One thing was that they know the oneness. What I mean by that, their consciousness is aware of the connection that there is between all the things that in reality, between them themselves, between each other, and between them and me, between the nature, between trees, between everything. There is a connection that they are aware of it. And that thing that connects everything, after a couple of years, I realized that this is what we call God. I mean, that thing that connects everything and bring this thing to be a reality. And when I felt that, it was a joyful feeling and a happy feeling, and it's a bliss feeling, because that thing that connects everything is with love, that is really amazing kind of love that there is. I mean, love is a word that we use it here, but it's very small from the amount of love that they felt with this oneness. And
that's pretty impressive.
I think from that minute and on, I started to know about, to believe. And what I say about believing, it's a little bit different from the way like our religious think about God. I mean, their understanding is that their understanding of like the Creator is very natural. They don't think about it so much. They know it. It's like
right.
It's like for us the air that we breathe very naturally, and they don't have to think about it, but they live with it, and they know that they are part of it, and they are very happy and feel secure because of it.
My friend, I'm going to get you to hold on right there, because we're going to take a break here at the top of the hour. Yossi Ronen is our guest tonight on Spaced Out Radio, calling in all the way from Israel, where he is telling us about his amazing extraterrestrial encounters. He hasn't told it often publicly. We're very lucky to have him here doing this for us and for all of you tonight. Hour 2 continues with Yossi right after this.
The SOR Vault is open for business, and do we have some cool swag for you to pick up? All you have to do is head over to our website and click on the SOR Vault. You have a variety of cool logos to choose from, and put them on anything you want. T-shirts, hoodies, hats, coffee mugs, you name it, we can get it to you. So do your shopping by supporting the store you love. Get your Spaced Out Radio swag at the SOR Vault today.
We are scouring the world for the most intriguing stories of your day. Take the time to read up on the SOR Newswire, where our team, led by Captain Shirk, will deliver to you some of the best paranormal and supernatural news, along with some stories that will blow your mind from the weird to the wacky. It's the news outside the news that piques interest, and that's what we're looking to deliver to you. The SOR Newswire, only at spacedoutradio.com.
Hi, this is Amber Beckrud, and I want to invite you to subscribe to our YouTube channel, where we store all of the SOR show archives for free. And as an added bonus, every 2 weeks I'm posting brand new content on Cryptid Tales, where I will get into some of the spookier legends and folklore from around the world, and tell the stories that go with them. Find us at youtube.com/spacedoutradio and check out Cryptid Tales today. Drop a comment and let me know what you want to hear. See you there.
We all know on Spaced Out Radio we love a good beard and mustache, so why not take care of your facial hair with Mighty Moose Beard Oil? Made in Canada, we're taking care of beards and stashes around the world. We use 100% natural ingredients with our oils and balms to make your whiskers feel silky smooth. Use promo code SOR2019 at mightymoosebeard.com today.
Are you intrigued by Paranormal Talk Radio? You'll love the new Paranormal Radio app from TalkStream Live. You'll find a great selection of talk shows covering UFOs, ghosts, strange phenomena, and much more. Download the Paranormal Radio app now and start listening to the very best in paranormal talk entertainment, including the network you're listening to right now, the Paranormal Radio app, free in Google Play and the iOS App Store.
I'm feeling a little spicy tonight. What to do?
Why not get Bumblefuck?
4 million Scoville units of pure hard rock. Bumblefoot hot sauces come in 3 flavors. The burning Bumble. Tone it down a bit with Bumblicious and throw the sauce on everything.
Spice it up. Bumble me, baby. Bumblefoot hot sauce. Get it today at Kajans.com.
Get your horns up with me on Spaced Out Radio. This is Ron Bumblefoot Thal. Come tune in to SOR where you can hear me rock out with Little Brother Is Watching, the official theme song of Spaced Out Radio. And then come on over to bumblefoot.com where you can find out about my tour schedule, my music, and everything else. Bumblefoot.com keeps you up to date on what I'm doing and the best way to stay in touch with my music and music camps. Sign up for my newsletter at bumblefoot.com and remember, Little Brother Is Watching.
Are you an experiencer of something strange that can't be explained? Do you want help finding out what's going on? I'm Ryan Stacy, head of the Experiencer Support Association, otherwise known as TESSA. We've teamed up with Spaced Out Radio to investigate cases filled out in the SOR Sightlines report. We are independent and there's no cost to what we do. All we need is your experience. Let's find out what's happening together on the SOR Sightlines report.
The party is always on at the Moose Vancouver. The Moose Vancouver is where you want to be when visiting Canada's West Coast. Open until 2 a.m. nightly, the Moose cranks up the rock while serving some of the best rated food in the city. The menu starts at $6.95. Why party anywhere else in Vancouver when the Moose is right there? Get your horns up and rock with the Moose, the official party bar of Spaced Out Radio.
For the price of 1 cup of coffee a month, you can become an SOR Space Traveler. The Space Travelers Club is a place where you can interact with other listeners, either live during the show or on our great forum. We want your stories, pictures, comments, and ideas. You'll get live video streams, exclusive content, and be a part of our newsletter. Stay in touch with everything SOR. The Space Travelers Club is just $5 a month at spacedoutradio.com.
Hey, Space Travelers, this is John Resig, founder of the Chive and Chive Charities. If you know anything about our website, you know we like to do things a little differently. We're not some faceless organization collecting money for a nebulous cause. Our donor dollars go directly toward life-improving items. Then we give those items directly to an underdog who needs it most. To become a donor with Spaced Out Radio's official charity, Chive Charities, just go to chivecharities.org/donate.
Hi there, this is the paranormal lawyer Michael W. Hall. I'd like to invite you to listen in each Sunday night where we're going to open up your eyes to everything strange and paranormal. I will be hosting some great guests with topics that affect us all, such as UFOs, ghosts, and everything paranormal. Let's learn together on Spaced Out Radio Sunday with myself, Michael W. Hall, the paranormal lawyer at spacedoutradio.com.
Hello, space travelers. It's me again, Carl. Don't forget to join the Space Travelers Club for just $5 a month And follow Spaced Out Radio on Twitter at Spaced Out Radio. Our Instagram, Dave Scott SOR. Our Facebook page is Spaced Out Radio Show. Our archives are free at youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Come woo it up with Spaced Out Radio today. Bye!
You're listening to Spaced Out Radio with Dave Scott. Follow Dave on Twitter at Spaced Out Radio and on Facebook, Spaced Out Radio Show.
Hour number 2 of Spaced Out Radio is underway tonight. I am your host, Dave Scott. Thank you so much for joining us. We welcome back everyone listening in on our terrestrial affiliates across North America and digitally on TalkStream Live and Revolution Radio. Remember to check out all of our archives for free at youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Just do old Davey the favor, hit that subscribe button. The Desert Clam has set the password for tonight in the SOR Space Travelers Club. Brevapenit. Brevapenit is your password. Use it wisely, Space Travelers, as the Clam sets the password each and every night right here on the mighty SOR. Our website, spacedoutradio.com, where we have a plethora of features for you, including Rocket Out to Bumblefoot and reading up on Captain Shirk's SOR Newswire. Follow us on Twitter at Spaced Out Radio for the show, my personal handle at Dave Scott SOR, and on our Instagram page at Spaced Out Radio Show. Tonight we are talking with ET contactee Yossi Ronen, and he is hanging out with us, telling us all about this amazing encounter that really improved his consciousness and really improved and opened up his eyes to what is really going on in this world. Yossi, welcome back to the show.
Hi, Dave.
Yossi, you know, right before the break, you were getting into this whole experience back in 1981 that happened that really changed your life and really made yourself much more formidable and eye-opened to what was surrounding you in the world. My question for you to kick off this hour is, do you feel that you have changed as a person? How did this change your own personal direction?
Well, in a couple of ways. You know, the connection with them, this oneness that I had with their consciousness, have another thing. Because we were one, I could see how they looking at me as a human being. And you know, it's a very, very special experience, because it's like the first time that you see yourself in the mirror, because it is not a human that's looking at you. It's a different one that have a very different kind of understanding reality that watch you as a human, and you can understand what he sees about us, about me. And what I felt that they appreciate us very much, because they know in a way that we are experiencing our physical life as a great challenge that we going through with our lives. And this living with the body is not easy. So I understood that we have we are in a situation that we learn things through this life in our physical world, and this is make your understanding very different from before. It's like your life has a mission, or we all have a purpose in life. It's not like a coincidence that we live, and it's not a coincidence that we live the way we live, in all the good and bad things that happen to us. And the second thing is that their awareness of like God, made me believe too. You know, I wasn't into that religion thing at all because I always thought that religion is a primitive thing that people try to control with this thing of religion or God, and suddenly I see that they aware of it, and I understood that the main thing with this is a little bit different from what I learned in school about religion or God or what we think about that. And another thing was that when in the communication, when I felt this oneness and this God that they are aware of, I was very excited to understand it more. You know, when you feel this strong feeling of love and understand it, you want to go into it and to feel it more and to understand it. And what happened that they was not prepared for me to go inside that, because I had the chance to understand it because of their wide consciousness, and I tried to use it for my understanding. But it seems that my understanding or consciousness was limited to understand that. And what they did, because of my wanting to understand it, they stopped the connection and they started to go out. But what they did, they started to give me a vision that was different from the connection that we had before. It's like they made me to see like a movie that I am inside of it. And the movie was a very catastrophic thing that is happening. And that's the way they try to let me understand that we have to treat our world, our nature differently.
This being the first contact, how long was it between this one and the second contact that you had?
Well, this was the only physical contact. I tried, after a couple of years, I tried to have another face-to-face contact, and I couldn't do that. And it had a very, I couldn't do it. It didn't went well. They didn't come. I couldn't stand it the second time. But what they did, they continue to be connected with me in a different way. In a couple of dreams, I had 2 or 3 dreams that they came to made me understand or help me to digest the connection that I had with them. And I started to do automatic writing, and this was a different way of connection too. I didn't have another face-to-face connection with them. It was the only one.
39 years since that happened, and you remember it so vividly, like it just happened yesterday.
Yes.
Do you long for more contact?
Well, yes, I can say that. Yes, I long for another contact, but I know another thing, that it's not easy, and my physical it's very hard for the body to be in front of it. It's like, I know that we have to be much more ready for this connection. It's not going to be so easy, even though it's only positive. I think that they came to many people, and the stories of a bad communication is one of the things that happen when we are not ready yet for that connection. But I believe that it's going to be happened if we want it or not. And probably it's not going to be easy, but it's going to be very good for us to communicate with them because they are helping us on that road to contact with them. They want that too. They want to communicate with us.
Why do they want to communicate with us? What's their purpose?
First, I think that they are very related to us in a way that we still don't, and I don't understand 100%. It seems that the way they see us and them is different. They see the connection between us all. And in that realm of understanding, we are one, like we are family, like we are depending on each other. And we don't realize that with each other so much, but we are very much dependent on each other, much more than we understand. But they know that, and we are part of them too. So everything good that happening to us is good for them too.
Do you know where they come from?
I don't really know, but I asked them that, in that contact that we had face to face, and what they told me without words was that they came from a different dimension, not a different star or something like that.
Dimension? Well, that opens up a whole different can of worms here, because if they're from a different dimension and they're living on the same timeline, that'd be interesting to see how they figured out the technology to hop on over here.
Yeah. It took me many years to understand that, what it means, different dimension at all. And it seems that they don't need any technology for that. This is my understanding. I think what I saw is that they do it with the power of their consciousness. And that's it. They don't need any technology for that. And another thing is that we humans have this ability too. It's like that we have a strong abilities, each one of us, that we are not aware of it yet. And they try to make us understanding, remember it, because it seems like once we had that ability, and it's looked like we, in a way, forgot that, or it was on a purpose of our learning here to forget it and to try to do it ourselves independently. And they do it in an easy way for us. I mean, they're helping us not, if they were coming and show themselves on the lawn of the White House and we all see them, it's going to be too much easier for us, and we don't have to deal with it like we deal it now and try to understand. And in this way that we try to understand it ourselves, we do the development with ourselves. And this is the way it should be, probably.
I got to ask you, in regards to trying to improve yourself, have you received since then downloads from the extraterrestrials?
Yes, in the situation that I wanted to understand their consciousness, they try to explain it to me. The main difference between their consciousness from us is that the way they see reality is by they see differentiation between things when we see separation, and this is a very critical, different way of seeing things. And what was your question? Sorry.
Receiving downloads from the extraterrestrials.
Yes, and when I want to understand how it can be, I mean, from their point of view, darkness and light is the same thing. Bad and good is the same thing. Yesterday and tomorrow is the same thing. And it was hard for me to understand that, and I want them to explain to me. And they started to try to let me understand in a way of looking at a picture in a visual way. And for instance, when I do meditation and close my eyes and go into my consciousness deeply to communicate with them, and what they do, they give me a vision of something to look. And when I ask them, let me understand what do you mean about the light and the dark is the same, they show me a picture of like a ball of light, like the sun, and underneath is a ground that lit by that sun, and in the middle it's dark, like our space, like sun and earth, and the middle is the space is black. But in the minute you realize that all the black thing that you see, this darkness, is full of light, because the sun is shining on this black thing, but there is nothing there to the light to be touching, and you see dark. You understand what I mean?
Not really.
This black space we see is full of light, but we see only black, only dark. But this darkness is full of light. And this is the way they try to let me understand how it could be that the truth is that they're all one, but we see it in a separate way. We can understand light and we can understand darkness, but not together. It's like a paradox for us.
I'm trying to figure out the whole paradox aspect here.
Yes.
Can you explain that a little bit more, if you don't mind, regarding how that works and what that means?
Yes, this is the main thing that they try to let us understand, because it's very important for us to learn, because it seems that this is the thing that's going to develop our consciousness. The thing is that, our consciousness is, it have two main situations. It's like our awareness is the usual awareness that we live, like I see you now and you see me. And the different one is our consciousness when we are like dreaming or out-of-body experience or on a clinic death. It's a different consciousness, but they are both our consciousness. And in the dream or out-of-body experience, we are in the full consciousness that see all the connection between the things, and there is no paradox there. But from our normal consciousness, all the things have this paradox, and we can do it we can learn how to do it in with many different ways. And actually, what will happen is that our brain could connect his different parts. I mean, we have now in our brain two sides, like the left lobe and the right lobe. The right lobe is connected to our deeper consciousness and the subconsciousness, and the left one is more logical and see things in a logical way. And when we could connect with them, we're going to have this development of our consciousness. You see, the way we see things now is really related to our the way we see things now. For instance, we sit, both of us. You sit in the one side of Earth, and I sit on the other side, and it's like that. You sit now with your head up, and I sit with my head down. But we don't realize it. But this is the truth, that there is no up and down. You understand what I mean?
Yes. Now I'm kind of getting it. Yossi, with the way that they have tried to develop your consciousness, was it almost in a telepathic way that they were able to communicate with you?
Yes, and I think everybody do it. I mean, every time that you have an inspiration of something, like you have a new music and melody in your head, or you have a telepathic communication with someone that you love, you actually go inside that wide subconscious that is connected to everything, and you can download from it. Everyone do it all the time, but is not realizing that.
All right, we have about a minute to go before we're going to go to break here at the bottom of the hour. Yossi Ronen is your guest tonight on Spaced Out Radio. Yossi, as we look towards the future, did they ever give you any idea what that was going to be like?
What was the question?
Did they tell you what the future was going to be like?
Well,
you got 30 seconds.
My understanding is the future have many possibilities, and they try to warn us from a very bad situation that can happen. But we can choose a different one if you will behave differently with each other, probably.
All right, I'm going to get you to hold on right there, as we are going to go to break here at the bottom of the hour. Yossi Ronen is our guest tonight on Spaced Out Radio. We're talking his ET contact story. And you know what? It's never easy when you have contact in your life, especially from those who are not supposed to exist. More on this amazing story right after this on Spaced Out Radio.
Hello, space travelers. It's me again, Carl. Don't forget to join the Space Travelers Club for just $5 a month, and follow Spaced Out Radio on Twitter at Spaced Out Radio. Our Instagram, Dave Scott SOR. Our Facebook page is Spaced Out Radio Show. Our archives are free at youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Come woo it up with Spaced Out Radio today. Bye!
Cold drinks, great food, and the best music in Vancouver. The Moose Vancouver is the place to be, open until 2 a.m. nightly. Everything on the menu starts at just $6.95. Who serves food that cheap anymore? At the Moose, you'll never know who you'll run into. Rock stars, actors, athletes. It's the place everyone wants to be. So join us at the Moose Vancouver, the official party bar of Spaced Out Radio.
Hey everybody, the SOR Space Travelers is open. For just $5 a month, you can hang out with Dave and our crew privately in our members-only section. With your signing, you'll receive newsletters on what's going on with Spaced Out Radio. You'll have direct contact with the host during the show in our chat, live streaming videos, and a great forum for your posts and more. Become a space traveler now at spacedoutradio.com.
At spacedoutradio.com, we are keeping you up to date on all the news with the SOR Newswire. Captain Shirk leads the team that is bringing you the news of the day and exclusive stories on everything paranormal and supernatural. It's free to read, it's updated daily, and it's right there for you. The SOR Newswire is a one-stop shop for the news of the day. Check it out at spacedoutradio.com today.
We're adding to the entertainment online for Spaced Out Radio. I'm Amber Beckrud, and I want to invite you to subscribe to our YouTube channel and check out Cryptid Tales, where I will take you on a journey into some of the strangest legends and lore from around the world, relaying the stories to you of the strange creatures and experiences that people have had throughout time. You can find Cryptid Tales at youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio, and while you're there, don't forget to check out our free archives and leave a comment. See you there.
Hello, this is your guitar man, Ron Bumblefoot Thal, and I have to tell you, I love the response I get for Little Brother is Watching from Spaced Out Radio fans. It's amazing how music can inspire and make people think deeper about what's going on in the supernatural world. You can head over to my website, bumblefoot.com, to check out my music, my guitar workshops, my touring, even check out some of the hot sauces that I'm working on. And make sure you keep on listening, because with Spaced Out Radio, you know Little Brother is watching.
You wanted new SOR gear, and now you can have it. The SOR Vault is fully stocked with t-shirts, hats, hoodies, mugs, and everything in between, with great logos for you to choose from. So head on over to spacedoutradio.com, click on the SOR Vault, and go shopping. Pricing is quite affordable, and you can look good representing your favorite show. So go to our website and pick up your new SOR wear at the SOR Vault today.
Hey, space travelers, this is John Resig, founder of the Chive and Chive Charities. If you know anything about our website, you know we like to do things a little differently. We're not some faceless organization collecting money for a nebulous cause. Our donor dollars go directly toward life-improving items. Then we give those items directly to an underdog who needs it most. To become a donor with Spaced Out Radio's official charity, Chive Charities, just go to chivecharities.org/donate.
Are you looking for great advertising value for your company? Look no further than Spaced Out Radio. We have a multitude of places to get your name out there, including commercial ads during the show, special promotions, and banners on our website. Our audience is proven to support the companies that support our show. We can make your budget work for you. So for more information, please contact us at sales@spacedoutradio.com.
We're taking Sunday nights out of this world on Spaced Out Radio. This is Michael W. Hall, also known as the Paranormal Lawyer. Together, we're going to go on an exciting journey into the unknown. I'm going to bring you some of the best interviews in the paranormal and supernatural to start your new week off on a freaky note. So tune in to Spaced Out Sundays with me, Michael W. Hall, only on spacedoutradio.com.
From the heartlands of Canada to beards around the world, we know how to take care of you. Fill your follicles with the Mighty Moose Beard Oil. All our oils and balms are handmade and 100% natural ingredients because we care about your beard. And hey, use the promo code SOR2019 and get your Mighty Moose Beard Oil today. You can check us out on our website, mightymoosebeard.com.
We passed the halfway point of Spaced Out Radio tonight. I am your host, Dave Scott, sitting in the captain's chair of SOR headquarters. Thank you so much for joining us I really do appreciate you taking the time. I want to remind all of you that if you missed portions of this show or others, you can check out our free archives at youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Just do old Davey the favor, hit that subscribe button. Yeah. Our website, spacedoutradio.com. We got a plethora of features for you, including rocking out to Bumblefoot and reading up on Captain Shirk's SOR Newswire. Follow us on Instagram at Spaced Out Radio Show and my personal handle at Dave Scott SOR. You can also use at Dave Scott SOR on Twitter, along with at Spaced Out Radio Show. We are talking with Yossi Ronen tonight on Spaced Out Radio. We are hanging on out, chatting away about ET experiences and what it's like to have one. And if you haven't had one, you know, if I'd never had one, I'll be honest with you, I'd want to have one like Yossi had. It seemed peaceful. It seemed fun. Seemed confident. It seemed a little too surreal. My friend, welcome back.
Hello, Dave.
Absolutely. How are you?
Yeah, good.
Good. You're sounding good for the early morning.
Yeah, try to.
I want to ask you in regards to visions. Did they ever give you any visions that you saw?
Yes, in the contact, they before they went out of the room, they gave me a kind of a visual vision that it looked like a movie that I'm inside of it. I found myself in a very beautiful forest with this blue sky and cows eating from the grass. And everything was beautiful. And suddenly I heard a roar from far away, and all the horizon started to be full with strong fire that burned everything with the cows. And I'm standing and watching it. And like they show me this to understand, like there is a responsibility for us for that nature that we live in, and we can destroy it. And the look from the eyes of those cows, they were watching my eyes, looking at me. I saw that they are looking at me in a way of, why did you let it happen? A minute before they burned. And I left with a very bad, sad feeling that I was responsibility for that destruction. And I know that thousands, tens of thousands of people have a very similar vision like I had. And it's a kind of a warning, but it's a warning for us not to try to stop it, take responsibility for our self-destruction, not to go that road, I'd like to say. And I hope that we're gonna, take a different road and not going there. And after that, they started to go, and the way that they went out of my room was a very weird one. But in the years, I understood that they showed me something very special. What they did, they went all together to the corner of the room. They stand in a circle holding hands and started to spin very fast. And it was so fast that that circle became to be light, and that light became to be very small, like a small point of light that disappeared, and that's it. So they have an ability to be physical and not. they can move from our reality of this physical reality and go to the other dimension. This is other dimension from our perspective. It's not a different place. It's a different dimension, you can say. And then
are they human? Are they human?
Well, they are partly human or partly not. I cannot say that they are human, but the consciousness is similar to us. It's much more development from us. I think that they are very similar to the angels from the ancient times. I think it's the same. It's our translation in the years of us, for us human to understand what is going on. On the ancient years, they called them angels, and today we call them aliens. Now, even then, there were bad angels and good angels, and I think the separation between them is us doing in that, because, like instance, for people that have a very bad communication and horrific communication, it's because of the translation of the communication. Because they are not good or bad, and because they are not good and bad, they are good. It's a little bit hard to understand, but it's like if you light a candle in a dark room, it's not half dark and half light, and it's light. It's like you turn the light on, the darkness with the light became only light. And they know how to do it 100% good and bad together. So this is the truth, is the good and bad together. And we try to grasp this ability to understand them both together. And the people that have a good connection with them, and like me, that saying it was very peaceful, and it was only because they let me the situation to see them out of body, that see it in a good way. The body that have these limitations in his mind, in his brain, the body is afraid from that, because the free consciousness is only for the dream, for the out of body experience, and for the body is like a death. And every time we meet this awareness, this oneness, it can make us very afraid, even if it's totally innocence. We are afraid of it. It's like we are afraid of this strong light. It's hard for us to deal with it.
Mm-hmm. I can see that, because internal fears in humanity would cause that to happen. You can't blame people for being scared.
Of course, I think it took me a couple of years to understand that even in the Bible there is a way of explaining that we usually don't understand the Bible as it's originally made for. For instance, in the Bible, the situation that it was explained of how we human fell from heaven was because of the eating of the fruit of good and bad. Now, most of the people understand it that the fruit of good and bad was to understand the differentiation, the separation between good and bad. Like, you have to be a good man and not a bad one. But the really attention for that is that this fruit made us to separate good and bad. Before in heaven, the good and bad was one. And after they ate the fruit of good and bad, they started to separate it, and the fear started born. It's a story that is really attempt to let us understand this very important understanding.
Right. So with that understanding that is out there that you are trying to decipher, have you 39 years later received the full message? Do you fully comprehend or understand exactly what they were trying to tell you?
Yes, I can. I'm not fully. I can't say that I understand it totally, because it's much far out from my understanding. But on these years, I was very concentrated on that to understand it in a way. And what I understood, that they want us to develop our consciousness. And this understanding is very connected to this oneness understanding. And it's going to be very different ways to understand this oneness in our development. One of the ways for us, I think the strongest one, is when we realize the way we think, because most of us think with words, and these words are very limited thing. We think in a different words for different sentences to understand one idea. And if we will understand the way we think, we could go to see the common ground of our language, and from that we can develop our consciousness much wider.
The consciousness aspect is a very tough pill for a lot of people in ufology or outside of it, looking in to understand or follow. Why is this so important to our contact with extraterrestrials?
Because they came from the way they can connect with us, or they do it. It's through our consciousness, because this is the main purpose for them to even communicate with us, is only to help us. And they don't do it fully, show themselves, because they want us to understand it ourselves. And the way we do it is the way we do it now, like I'm talking to you, that we try to understand it, what is really going on, what is that consciousness, who they are, where they came from, what they want from us, why they do it. All these questions are going to probably lead us for the development of our understanding.
Do they want us to take this path?
Yes. Like I told you, that we are connected with them, and they feel they want us to develop, because we are part of them, and each one of us that's going to be with good vibration is more good vibration for them. It's like each one of us that's going to be more open is more openness for them too. It's like we are family.
Okay. I got to ask you, I mean, it sounds like you had a very, very peaceful and understanding and knowledgeable contact experience. What do you think of all the people out there who claim to have had these negative experiences with extraterrestrials?
Yes, I can explain it in a couple of ways. I mean, one way is like, it's very similar to a clinical death. because in the clinical death, it's a different kind of consciousness. And you can hear from people that have this clinical death different stories. Part of them have a very good experience, and part of them have a very bad experience. Like, one could have experience of hell, and one of them can have experience of paradise. And this is the main thing, that if we understand the differentiation of our translations, going to give us the understanding of what is going on. Now, the people that have a bad experience is because they are trying to meet with this oneness, and it's too complicated and very hard for them. And when they are afraid, and there is nothing to make them ease with that contact, they still translate it in their normal awareness as a bad thing. You see, the consciousness of us have these two main possibilities. And when we wake up to the normal consciousness, all we had from the deep consciousness is only a memory. And the memory have a way of translating things. I mean, like you have a dream and you wake up from the dream, and then you have to decide what you saw. And you can translate it in a very bad way and a very good way, depending on how you translate what happened. It's like when you walk in the street in a dark night and you see a big figure going fast to you, and you can be afraid, or you're instinctively afraid because you feel threatened. But it could be that when you see him, it's your friend. The thing is how you translate it when it happened. And that's why many have bad communication. It's not because it was with bad aliens, it was because their translation for that was in a fearful place.
Makes sense. Makes big time sense. Yossi, what about the fact, and let me add to that question previous, what about the fact that when we hear now all of these people talking in the mainstream media about the UFOs and the potential of extraterrestrials are considered a threat? What's your thoughts on that, considering the experience you have? Because there's a lot of people who are learning about this subject for the first time through those UFO videos from the USS Nimitz. There's a lot of people who are now looking at people, whether it's Chris Mellon, Lou Elizondo, Nick Pope, and others talking about this subject and believing that there is some sort of threat here on Earth from a potential extraterrestrial presence.
Yes, it's the same thing. You see, I think that I don't know if the governments really know what's going on. I think they know that many people have connections and they know there are extraterrestrials, but it is so complicated that they themselves don't know how to talk about that. I don't think that they really understand fully what's going on, who they are. And because of that, they don't talk about it. Government to talk about extraterrestrials without the security of we understand what is going on is make people hysterical and panic. And it's very natural. So they start to maybe give us hints about something, but they cannot explain it because they don't understand it themselves. And maybe they start to do it because they understand that we have to deal with it. And there are many signs that it could be that, like you see many Hollywood movies Part of them are bad, but part of them are dealing with the main thing of our translation of what is going on. And it might be a way for them to try to let us very slowly to understand what is going on. And the first of all is to let us understand that it's really our consciousness that have to deal with that.
Makes sense. Okay, so the fact that this has been politicized now, doesn't matter what side of the ledger you stand on or support, but the fact that it's been politicized as a threat, how does that change the game? As we got about 90 seconds left.
I don't think that it's going to make too much difference. I think that the subject of this extraterrestrial is very personal for each one of us. And the answer is going to come from us, not from them.
Well, say the way I think about it, Yossi, is this. Yes. When people ask me, are ETs a threat? And we may have to carry this into the next hour. Okay, but the way I think about it is this. I don't think they are, and here's why. In my opinion, and it's my opinion only, if the extraterrestrials have been coming here for decades, centuries, millennia, they've watched humankind grow and grow and grow. And I'm pretty sure that if there was any sort of threat to every person on this planet, that they most likely would have taken us over or taken us out when spears, bows and arrows, and muskets were the biggest threats of weaponry on this planet.
Yes.
And that doesn't make sense to me. And I don't buy the threat. And you know what? I'm sorry, we are out of time. Let's continue this conversation when we come back, because we have Yossi Ronen for another 30 minutes here on Spaced Out Radio before we get to the SOR News Wire and the Thought of the Dave. We got a jam-packed... I guess... Hold on. I read my clock wrong. We got a minute. I will get your answer. I apologize. I jumped the gun. Gun.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right with this. What I think is like that exactly, because from what I experience with them, they have much more development from us. And they have the ability to go through even time. And their ability is because of their very wide consciousness. And this wide consciousness cannot be if there were like us physical human beings that deals with war and fear. If you cannot develop your consciousness if you are down on that stage, like us.
Right.
That we make war on each other and kill each other. It's not a way to be a very development and go through to different dimensions. They have to be very good spiritual beings for that.
Yossi, I'm going to get you to hold on right there. We're going to continue this talk because my music goes on, which means it's time to get out of here for 2 hours down. Hour 3 of Spaced Out Radio coming up next.
Hello, Space Travelers. It's me again, Carl. Don't forget to join the Space Travelers Club for just $5 a month and follow Spaced Out Radio on Twitter at Spaced Out Radio. Our Instagram, Dave Scott SOR. Our Facebook page is Spaced Out Radio Show. Our archives are free at youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Come woo it up with Spaced Out Radio today. Bye!
Looking for creative ways to get your company out in the public? How about advertising on Spaced Out Radio? Our sales department is waiting to hear from you, and we can work around any budget. From commercial spots to banners to special promotions, there are many opportunities to get your name and product out to our SOR listeners. For a price guide and more information, please contact us at sales@spacedoutradio.com.
Hi there, this is the paranormal lawyer Michael W. Hall. I'd like to invite you to listen in each Sunday night where we're going to open up your eyes to everything strange and paranormal. I will be hosting some great guests with topics that affect us all, such as UFOs, ghosts, and everything paranormal. Let's learn together on Spaced Out Radio Sunday with myself, Michael W. Hall, the paranormal lawyer at spacedoutradio.com.
The SOR Vault is open for business, and do we have some cool swag for you to pick up? All you have to do is head over to our website and click on the SOR Vault. You have a variety of cool logos to choose from, and put them on anything you want. T-shirts, hoodies, hats, coffee mugs, you name it, we can get it to you. So do your shopping by supporting the store you love. Get your Spaced Out Radio swag at the SOR Vault today.
I'm feeling a little spicy tonight. What to do? What to do?
Why not get Bumblefuck?
4 million Scoville units of pure hard rock. Bumblefoot hot sauces come in 3 flavors. The burning Bumble. Tone it down a bit with Bumblicious and throw the sauce on everything.
Spice it up. Bumble me, baby. Bumblefoot hot sauce. Get it today at kajans.com.
For the price of 1 cup of coffee a month, you can become an SOR Space Traveler. The Space Travelers Club is a place where you can interact with other listeners, either live during the show or on our great forum. We want your stories, pictures, comments, and ideas. You'll get live video streams, exclusive content, and be a part of our newsletter. Stay in touch with everything SOR. The Space Travelers Club is just $5 a month at spacedoutradio.com.
Hello everyone, this is Ryan Stacy from the Experiencer Support Association, otherwise known as TESSA. We're glad to team up with Spaced Out Radio to help investigate your experiences on the SOR Sightlines Report. Together, we'll investigate the strange sightings and occurrences you've had. We're looking for answers just like you. So fill out a Sightlines report on the Spaced Out Radio website and let's figure out what's going on together.
We all know on Spaced Out Radio we love a good beard and mustache, so why not take care of your facial hair with Mighty Moose Beard Oil? Made in Canada, we're taking care of beards and stashes around the world. We use 100% natural ingredients with our oils and balms to make your whiskers feel silky smooth. Use promo code SOR2019 at MightyMooseBeard.com today.
The party is always on at the Moose Vancouver. The Moose Vancouver is where you want to be when visiting Canada's West Coast. Open until 2 a.m. nightly, the Moose cranks up the rock while serving some of the best rated food in the city. The menu starts at $6.95. Why party anywhere else in Vancouver when the Moose is right there? Get your horns up and rock with the Moose, the official party bar of Spaced Out Radio.
Hey, space travelers, this is John Resig, founder of the Chive and Chive Charities. If you know anything about our website, you know we like to do things a little differently. We're not some faceless organization collecting money for a nebulous cause. Our donor dollars go directly toward life-improving items. Then we give those items directly to an underdog who needs it most. To become a donor with Spaced Out Radio's official charity, Chive Charities, just go to chivecharities.org/donate.
We are scouring the world for the most intriguing stories of your day. Take the time to read up on the SOR Newswire, where our team, led by Captain Shirk, will deliver to you some of the best paranormal and supernatural news, along with some stories that will blow your mind from the weird to the wacky. It's the news outside the news that piques interest, and that's what we're looking to deliver to you. The SOR Newswire, only at spacedoutradio.com.
We're adding to the entertainment online for Spaced Out Radio. I'm Amber Beckrud, and I want to invite you to subscribe to our YouTube channel and check out Cryptid Tales, where I will take you on a journey into some of the strangest legends and lore from around the world. relaying the stories to you of the strange creatures and experiences that people have had throughout time. You can find Cryptid Tales at youtube.com/spacedoutradio. And while you're there, don't forget to check out our free archives and leave a comment. See you there.
Hello, this is your guitar man, Ron Bumblefoot Thal, and I have to tell you, I love the response I get for Little Brother is Watching from Spaced Out Radio fans. It's amazing how music can inspire and make people think deeper about what's going on in the supernatural world. You can head over to my website, bumblefoot.com, to check out my music, my guitar workshops, my touring, even check out some of the hot sauces that I'm working on. And make sure you keep on listening, because with Spaced Out Radio, you know Little Brother is watching.
Would you like to connect with us? Head to spacedoutradio.com for all your latest show info. Now, back to Dave Scott and SOR.
Here we go with the third and final hour of Spaced Out Radio. Tonight, I am your host, Dave Scott, hanging out with all of you tonight, and I am appreciating spending my time with you. I hope you are with us. I want to welcome back everyone listening in on our terrestrial affiliates across North America, digitally on Revolution Radio and TalkStream Live. Remember, you can check out all of our archives at youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Just do me the favor, hit that subscribe button. The Desert Clam has set the password for tonight in the SOR Space Travelers Club. Brevipenate. Brevipenate is your password. Use it wisely, Space Travelers, as the Clam sets the password each and every night right here on Spaced Out Radio. Our website is spacedoutradio.com, where we have a plethora of features for you, including rocking out to Bumblefoot and reading up on Captain Shirk's SOR Newswire. Follow us on Twitter at Spaced Out Radio for the show. My personal handle at Dave Scott SOR. You can also use that handle on Instagram, and our new handle for our show at Spaced Out Radio Show. For the final time tonight, we introduce Yossi Ronen here on Spaced Out Radio, all the way from Israel, talking about his extraterrestrial encounter back in 1981. And a fascinating story it is. If you missed it, once again, you can check out our free archives. And right before the break, Yossi, as we welcome you back, we were talking about the whole idea that there's a threat phenomena going on, that extraterrestrials are bad, that they're out to kill us, they're out to maim us, they're out to take over this planet, and we have to consider them a threat. You're not in agreement with that.
No, not at all. I think we can see it in a very simple way. If we say that, for instance, they came from a different star, and if we compare them to us, like we have developed our weapons, and we came to a point that we have this atomic power that we can destroy ourselves in a second. And we're in a very dangerous situation now because of that power that we have. The only thing that can keep us survive is our morality. We all together, if we're gonna be in a good attentions to each other, not wars, we can survive. But if we will go to this bad road, we're gonna destroy ourselves very fast. This is the situation that we are now. And if we compare it to different stars with different intelligent beings that they develop to a situation that they are very strong, if they don't have morality themselves, they will destroy themselves too. So this limit gave them this border. If they will survive their development of weapons or all of that, they can survive only if they have morality and they can be good. And now these creatures that came from very far place, even different dimension, have to be very, very development compared to us. And this development is depending on their morality too, because otherwise they will destroy themselves. That's why who came here to conquer the speed of light and to conquer their them self-destruction have to be totally different. That's why the only thing that can be is that they are good. So we don't have to be afraid of them. This is without my experience that was good with them, and I felt their innocence.
So with that then, why do you think, in your own opinion, because we don't really know the reason why, but why do you think, in your own opinion, that these government agencies or these former government UFO people are pushing the threat narrative then?
I don't know. There could be many reasons for that. One, like people said, that they are trying to get money for space programs and to control, maybe. This is one of the reasons. Another thing that maybe they don't try to do that. And we are only think that they try to push this threatened thing. I really don't know. I don't know what's going on in the head of the governments. All I know that these beings are controlling what is going on, not them.
What control do the extraterrestrials have, in your opinion, in regards to all this?
They can show themselves when they want. They can do whatever they want. They do it. I mean, they show themselves like UFOs. They show themselves to us personally, to thousands of people. And if they want, they can hide from us, but they don't. And the governments depend on that too. They can do nothing about that. Only, it's only our way of try to understand what's going on.
It's not fair, though, especially to those who have had the positive experience.
What?
Would I be wrong? Would I be wrong on that?
What was your question? I was talking to my child here.
Oh, that's all right. That's all right. I know what that's like. I know what that's like all too well. What I was suggesting, Yossi, is that, this whole threat narrative isn't very fair to those who've had a positive communication experience.
From the point of view of the beings, you say?
Yes. And the people who've experienced it.
It's not fair what's going on now, that there is a sense of threat from them? What was your question?
Well, I guess what I'm trying to say here, and I'm trying to ask is, for the people out there who have had that positive experience, those who have gone through a good experience such as you, the threat narrative obviously does not make any sense whatsoever. Now, me personally, I've had the good and I've had the bad, and I've had the in between. And I really don't. I don't want the bad experiences. It sucks. It really sucks, right? Yeah. However, if you look at the subject logically, it makes me quiver that there are all these people out there saying, "Look, we have some." We're being threatened by these aliens. We're being threatened by their technology. We're being threatened by, whatever they are and wherever they come from. And there's simply no proof to that outside of the fact that, yes, some people out there have had some horrific, nightmarish experiences. I mean, we can't deny them either.
Of course, I know it's very natural. I can give you an example for that. Because this is meeting the unknown. Meeting the unknown can be very horrific and very good. It depends on how you are dealing with it. And for instance, when my friend once told me of a meditation that he tried to do, a special kind of meditation to go to this oneness in his consciousness. And he told me when I do it, I got frightened so much because I started to feel that I'm absorbed with this oneness. This great thing that I'm going inside of it make me very small, make me dead, like I'm absorbed with this big thing, and it make me panic. It's the same thing. This is something very big, it's unknown, and this instinct, we are instinctively afraid from the unknown. We have to understand that this unknown can be very good. It doesn't have to be very bad. But we translate it the way we translate.
Mm-hmm.
It's our choice to concentrate on this side or the other. The best if we could be understanding the both sides, and then it's going to be one, it's going to be good.
Mm-hmm. Do you think then that maybe, and once again, it's your opinion because we really don't know.
Yeah.
But do you think that maybe the reason why they're exercising the threat narrative and the media is playing off of that, because it also helps continue the military-industrial complex that is affecting the world negatively right now?
Yes, if the situation, yes, it could be. Yes, maybe the army that depends only on security and money wanted to get more money from the people. Is that they say that, listen, we are in a look at these UFOs that they are much more developed from us. We have to get much more money to deal with them, and then it's a straight way for lots of money. It could be like this, but
Mm-hmm.
I think that I don't think that they're going to succeed with that, because we are start to understand what's going on. Most of the people that now very curious with this subject are talking with each other like us. And this narrative is going to influence everything.
Okay, so do you think it's just the United States government doing this, or is it governments around the world?
I don't know. Probably there is a connection between them dealing with this, but I don't know, really. I don't have any opinion of that.
What is the status of how people treat UFOs and ufology and ET contact in Israel?
Well, it's started to be very wide now. Even they don't talk on the television, or they don't talk about it at all. Even they are laughing about this. But I think, but I see lots of thousands of people communicate with each other. There are many groups now that they do everything to communicate with them in the CFI. There are many groups that they understand already. This is something else than they thought before. And most of them start to understand that the subject is much more connected to our consciousness. And they work together to understand. They talk to each other, they're doing things, they make groups, and they do it.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's going on all over the world now.
Is this a good thing?
Of course. I think it's this is the sign of our consciousness that is going to be improved, because dealing with this unknown, dealing with this hard unknown thing, gonna open our mind for that. And this is not for them; it's for us. The attention of the aliens, I think, is not for them. It's much more than for us, and it's good for them too, because we are connected. You know, all of the years that they are disturbing our nuclear bases, that they appear and shutting down. This is truth. This is happening a lot. It means something. It means that they don't want us to destroy ourselves. They try to stop it, this development that is dangerous.
Mm-hmm. At any point in Israel, has there ever been reports of the government or the military interacting with UFOs?
No, they don't. No, not from the military or the government. They are not talking about that. If they know something, they hide it very, very, very strongly. And I think that people are not still ready. And all the groups, you know, there are certain percent from the people that dealing with it and know it's truth. The other one can be panic only from the idea that we are not alone.
Mm-hmm. Is that due to the religious values of the country? Because there are a lot of religious people over there.
Yes, and I think it's all over the world. It's like that. And if the government that control it know about this extraterrestrial and don't let it be open now, it's most of it because of that, because the religion now is holding our, for most of the people, it holding is, security of reality, of understanding reality, and they afraid that this is going to break it. What I know, what I feel, is that the opposite going to happen, because of those extraterrestrial, their development and their consciousness, they're aware of the real thing, that it's not a religion, but it's a real personal thing, and there is God, but it's not the way that we think about, a force from the sky that control things, and that he wants us to be good and not bad, and it's much more deeper and much more innocent thing. And as much more as people will get connected with them, I think that the religion going to get to the truth essence of communicating with the reality than the religion now.
Right.
I don't think the religion now is bad, but this is the best thing that they can do for people that cannot really be open totally. It's, it's still controlling the good behavior enough for people to be good with each other. But it's going to be open much more later, I think.
We got about 4.5 minutes left with you tonight, and I got a question. We are really international tonight. Natalie in Belgium is asking, so what if you have good contact and a high vibration, but are still having negative experiences? What's your opinion of this?
Well, I felt that very much 2 times in the connection itself, in the face-to-face in the beginning. And then the time I try to do it myself face-to-face with them. We have to be we are not ready. If we talk about vibration, their vibration is very, very high. And for us, a very high vibration, even if it's love, if it's too strong, it's bad for us. It's like we are afraid of it. We are lightened by this light. It's a bad experience to touch this love if it's too strong for us. It's very simple.
Interesting. Very interesting. Okay, going back to Natalie, she's asking, is it because we in our human body consider it a negative experience?
Yes, because the body is limited, anything that it's higher than the body, it's like the spirit thing. And the spirit thing for the physical instinct body is dead. It's no more limitation. And the body lives with limitation. He is afraid of the unlimitation, from the unknown, from the infinity.
All right. All right. My friend, we only got about 2 minutes left with you. And I want to say that this has been an absolute pleasurable experience having you on the show tonight. First time I have interviewed anybody from Israel. And I've never been there, never been off of North America.
You're invited.
Not that I'm afraid to fly, but just haven't got there yet.
Yeah, it's a beautiful country. You should come.
I would like to. For people who are looking to find your work, take a couple minutes here to tell us where they can find your information.
Well, I have a website. It's www.yossironen.com. And everything is there. Even the first chapter from the book that is upcoming. It took me about 25 years to write this book. It wasn't simple. And in the beginning, I was afraid to publish it. But now it's the time. Now people are much more open to heard these things, to hear it. And I think the understanding now is much more open for that, for all of us. I can't say that I understand everything, but I can share my experience, and this is enough.
Well, I'm glad you did.
Thank
because
you.
Without hearing stories like yours, we're not going to learn.
Yes, I think that as much as more people are going to talk about their experiences, good or bad, we're all going to understand it more. And this is the way for the good understanding. Because all the basis of this experience is very, very good, even though we have a bad experience at the beginning.
My friend, I want to say thank you for coming on Spaced Out Radio tonight. What a pleasure to get to know you and to hear your amazing experience. I would, like to say thank you on behalf of our audience, because I know how tough it is to tell what you went through in a public forum like this. So good on you for doing that.
Thank you. Thank you for having me on your show. Thank you.
Absolutely. Coming up next, we're going to get things going. We got a lot of show left here. We got the SOR Newswire. We have the Thought of the Dave. Stay tuned. Spaced Out Radio continues right after this.
Cold drinks, great food, and the best music in Vancouver. The Moose Vancouver is the place to be, open until 2 a.m. nightly. Everything on the menu starts at just $6.95. Who serves food that cheap anymore? At the Moose, you'll never know who you'll run into. Rock stars, actors, athletes. It's the place everyone wants to be. So join us at the Moose Vancouver, the official party bar of Spaced Out Radio.
At spacedoutradio.com, we are keeping you up to date on all the news with the SOR Newswire. Captain Shirk leads the team that is bringing you the news of the day and exclusive stories on everything paranormal and supernatural. It's free to read, it's updated daily, and it's right there for you. The SOR Newswire is a one-stop shop for the news of the day. Check it out at spacedoutradio.com today.
Hey, Spaced Out Radio fans! It's John Resig, founder of the Chive and Chive Charities. Our goal is to make the life of veterans, first responders, and those with rare medical conditions 10% happier. We do this by donating one grant item, ranging from dance to therapy programs to prosthetic limbs, to those who need it most. To contribute to Spaced Out Radio's official charity, head over to chivecharities.org and become a donor today.
Hello, space travelers. It's me again, Carl. Don't forget to join the Space Travelers Club for just $5 a month and follow Spaced Out Radio on Twitter at Spaced Out Radio. Our Instagram, Dave Scott SOR. Our Facebook page is Spaced Out Radio Show. Our archives are free at youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Come woo it up with Spaced Out Radio today. Bye!
Hello, this is your guitar man, Ron Bumblefoot Thal, and I have to tell you, I love the response I get for Little Brother is Watching from Spaced Out Radio fans. It's amazing how music can inspire and make people think deeper about what's going on in the supernatural world. You can head over to my website, bumblefoot.com, to check out my music, my guitar workshops, my touring, even check out some of the hot sauces that I'm working on. And make sure you keep on listening, because with Spaced Out Radio, you know Little Brother is watching.
Hey everybody, the SOR Space Travelers is open. For just $5 a month, you can hang out with Dave and our crew privately in our members-only section. With your signing, you'll receive newsletters on what's going on with Spaced Out Radio. You'll have direct contact with the host during the show in our chat, live streaming videos, and a great forum for your posts and more. Become a space traveler now at spacedoutradio.com.
Hi there, this is the paranormal lawyer Michael W. Hall. I'd like to invite you to listen in each Sunday night, where we're going to open up your eyes to everything strange and paranormal. I will be hosting some great guests with topics that affect us all, such as UFOs, ghosts, and everything paranormal. Let's learn together on Spaced Out Radio Sunday with myself, Michael W. Hall, the paranormal lawyer at spacedoutradio.com.
We all know on Spaced Out Radio we love a good beard and mustache, so why not take care of your facial hair with Mighty Moose Beard Oil? Made in Canada, we're taking care of beards and stashes around the world. We use 100% natural ingredients with our oils and balms to make your whiskers feel silky smooth. Use promo code SOR2019 at MightyMooseBeard.com today.
You wanted new SOR gear, and now you can have it. The SOR Vault is fully stocked with t-shirts, hats, hoodies, mugs, and everything in between, with great logos for you to choose from. So head on over to spacedoutradio.com, click on the SOR Vault, and go shopping. Pricing is quite affordable, and you can look good representing your favorite show. So go to our website and pick up your new SOR wear at the SOR Vault today.
If you like it hot, real hot, then heat up your meals with Bumblefoot hot sauce.
Get your Bumblefoot hot sauce today. The sauce, Bumblicious, and the 4 million Scoville unit Bumble. We're going in hot, real hot, coming out even hotter.
Keep the milk nearby and tantalize your taste buds tonight.
Bumblefoot hot sauce, available now at kajans.com.
Are you looking for great advertising value for your company? Look no further than Spaced Out Radio. We have a multitude of places to get your name out there, including commercial ads during the show, special promotions, and banners on our website. Our audience is proven to support the companies that support our show. We can make your budget work for you. So for more information, please contact us at sales@spacedoutradio.com.
We rounded third. We're heading for home tonight on Spaced Out Radio. I am your host, Dave Scott, sitting in the captain's chair of SOR headquarters. Thank you so much for joining us. We really do appreciate the time. Remember, you can check out our free archives at youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Just do me the favor, hit that subscribe button. Our website, spacedoutradio.com, where we have a plethora of features for you, including rocking out to Bumblefoot and reading up on Captain Shirk's SOR Newswire. Follow us on Twitter at Spaced Out Radio for the show, and my personal handle at Dave Scott SOR. On Instagram, my personal handle at Dave Scott SOR. And our brand new show Instagram page at Spaced Out Radio Show. We make it that hard for you to follow. Speaking of the news, oh yeah, it's time. Let's do this thing. The news is always changing, which is why we bring you the SOR Newswire at the back end of every show, where we get to the weird, the strange, the wacky, and sometimes the extraterrestrial. President Donald Trump says he's heard some very interesting things about aliens. In an interview with his son, Don Jr., unveiling a new campaign advertisement claiming Joe Biden has been endorsed by Osama bin Laden, which doesn't make any sense. Trump made the comments yesterday in a Father's Day-themed interview with his eldest son, hosted by the president's re-election campaign. The pair discuss Roswell, the New Mexico town, known for its proximity to the arguably most famous ever UFO event. The question asked by Donnie Jr., Sweet Donnie J, they call him, before you leave office, will you let us know if there are aliens? There was an interesting response, if you haven't heard it. It says, well, the son says, because this is the only thing I really want to know. Would you ever open up Roswell and let us know what's really going on? Trump responded, I won't talk to you about what I know about it, but it's very interesting. Because in 1947, a rancher discovered unidentifiable debris in his sheep pasture in Corona. Air Force officials said it was a crashed weather balloon, previous to saying, or right after saying, it was a flying saucer. Anyways, there's still a bunch of theories about this. The debate continues 70 years later. Last year, Trump received a short briefing on a UFO sighting, but also offered, people are saying these are UFOs. Do I believe it? Not particularly. And Don Jr. then says, would he declassify more information someday before he leaves office? Trump smiled, laughed, snickered, said, well, I'll have to think about that one. Yeah. Kind of interesting. Kind of interesting about the old aliens coming through the White House. I'm telling you. Them's aliens, man. Them's aliens. You may not notice it while driving, but there is a billboard on the Queen Elizabeth II highway south of Edmonton, Alberta. That was a big hit online. The semi-trailer billboard advertises the Canadian Tire Garden Centre in Leduc, Alberta. But it also includes a photo of a part of someone's buttocks tucked in behind some flowers. I thought it was hilarious, and the owner must have had a great sense of humor, Leduc resident Rachel Passay said. Good Ukrainian kid there. Passay, where is she here? Says her husband first noticed the billboard in May, but thought his eyes were deceiving him. Then he went for a closer look, and that's where he saw the plumber's crack, or in this case, the gardener's crack, in full view. He saw it again and thought, I need to take a picture of this. So they turned back and found the back roads and got the photo. Passay posted the photos on local message board in Leduc on Facebook. It had hundreds of reactions within a couple of hours. Her photos were also shared on the Meanwhile in Alberta Facebook page, where it had been hundreds, more like thousands of shares and likes. The general manager of the Canadian Tire confirms that the image on the billboard was intentional. Just trying to have some fun, and if anybody is offended by it, we have some crack filler standing by, Joe Scragg said. The funniest part for Parsay is that the image went seemingly unnoticed for so long. We can't be the only people who've seen it, and I thought it would be funny to share it. With everything that's going on right now, I think we have to have a laugh at some of these things we find funny, and if you don't find it funny, just move on. The billboard is located on Highway 2 southbound, just a few kilometers south of Edmonton. That is hilarious. That is one big gardener's crack right there. Oh, those Albertans, they're funny. Never drive around them because your lane is their lane too, but they got a good sense of humor. The controversy over depictions of Christopher Columbus in Columbus, Ohio, has led to an online petition calling for the city to be renamed Flavortown in honor of Guy Fieri. Yeah, I'm scratching my head over this one, too. The city of Columbus announced that the statue of Columbus outside City Hall would be removed, and officials are asking the Arts Commission to consider changes to the city's seal, flag, and other symbols. The Change.org petition calls for the city to go a step further by changing its name to Flavortown in celebration of the city's culinary bona fides and one of its most famous natives, TV chef Guy Fieri. Why not rename the city Flavortown? The new name is twofold. For one, it honors Central Ohio's proud heritage as a culinary crossroads and one of the nation's largest test markets for the food industry. Secondly, Chef-lebrity, really, we've created this word, Chef-lebrity? You got to be kidding me. Chef and celebrity Guy Fieri was born in Columbus, so naming the city in honor of him, because he's such a really good dude, would be superior to its current nomenclature. It adds, Fieri was born in Columbus in 1968 and later moved to California before becoming a celebrity in the world of food. The petition has amassed more than 7,800 signatures as of Friday afternoon. A woman who found out her husband had been moaning that she had forgotten to cut his sandwiches into triangles took revenge to ensure he will never complain again. Mom Lowe's was busy trying to get her 2-year-old son fed in the morning while also making her husband's lunch before he headed out for work. Nice lady. After finishing the multitasking job, she sent her husband on his way and got on with her day. When she headed out for a walk with her mom and young son, she bumped into her husband's boss, who said her other half isn't happy with you and had been complaining at work that she hadn't cut his sandwiches in half. Oh, the horror of having to rip the crust off. Her husband then sent her a photo of his lunch and joked, "Haven't even cut them into triangles. What am I, an animal now?" Although Lowe's says she's happy to make his lunch and save money, she wasn't thrilled he had been complaining about it and hatched a plan to get revenge. Oh, this is good. The following day, she ensured she remembered to cut his sandwiches, but crafted the bread into the shape of a giant penis with cheese detailing rather an unusual triangle. Oh, yeah. Or cheese strings. You know what that could lead to. Yeah. Well, she packed them away in a lunchbox for the following day, and at about 10 a.m. the next morning, she got another message after he had discovered the phallus-shaped snack and simply typed out, "Epic." Lowe's said he had thought it was hilarious, but said, "I cut so much of the sandwich away to make the piece of art that he was still starving for the rest of the day. This guy's never happy. Never happy." He sent a picture to all his mates, who then started calling his wife a legend, as she is. He also posted it to his Facebook saying, "Well played." So I thought I was the bee's knees that day. Definitely not going to complain again. As I drop my mouse, hold on. Oh, there we go. Laws decided to share the sandwich creation on her own Facebook page with other mums. And you know what? It was a hit there, too. And you know what? Good for them. Good for them. All right, here's a weird one. An abandoned bus in Alaska featured in the film Into the Wild has been removed after increasing numbers of tourists got into difficulties visiting it. A U.S. Army helicopter lifted it out of Denali National Park. The local mayor said it's a big relief. 2 people have drowned in rivers on their way to or from the bus, and many more have had to be rescued. In 1992, the bus was inhabited by 24-year-old adventurer Chris McCandless, who eventually died of starvation. His story was told by author John Krakauer in the 1996 book Into the Wild. In 2007, the book was made into a film directed by Sean Penn. Alaska's Natural Resources Commissioner Corey Fage said officials understood the hold this bus has had on a popular imagination. However, this is an abandoned and deteriorating vehicle that was requiring dangerous and costly rescue efforts. More importantly, it was costing some visitors their lives. The bus was deep in central Alaska, 30 miles from the nearest town. To reach it, visitors had to cross the Teklanika River. Last year, a newlywed woman from Belarus drowned trying to cross the swollen river. The other drowned in 2010. In April, a stranded Brazilian had to be evacuated, and in February, 5 Italians were rescued, with one suffering severe frostbite. The state carried out the 15 bus-related search and rescue operations between 2009 and 2017. Denali Borough Mayor Clay Walker says that the bus has become a perilous attraction that needed to be dealt with. At the same time, it is part of our history, and it does feel a little bittersweet to see a piece of our own history going down the road. Oh, that's too bad. That's too bad. Apparently, we needed a scientific study for this. If months of living through COVID-19 and the recent endless cycle of news regarding police brutality has you feeling low, you're not alone, says researchers. 2 pieces of research released this week suggest that Americans and people around the world are experiencing a historic period of unhappiness. Who would have thought? Who would have thought? Yes, researchers describe the 2 weeks following May 26 as the saddest ever on Twitter. Chris Danforth and Peter Dodds, both mathematicians at the University of Vermont in Burlington, track the relative happiness or sadness of Twitter in multiple different languages using a tool called a hedonometer. Developed in 2008, the tool analyzes or randomly sampled 10% of tweets in any given language each day. It compares the words in the tweets to a database of more than 10,000 words that a group of 50 people rated on a scale of happy, which is 9, to sad, which is 1. The researchers noted that sustained drop in happiness on the English language Twitter in mid-March as COVID-19 started to intensify in the United States. Then on May 25th, Minneapolis police officer Derek Chauvin killed George Floyd, sparking protests against police brutality in every state and triggered a flood of activism and anger online and around the world. In the following days, the hedonometer recorded its most negative reading ever, the saddest day in the history of Twitter, the researchers claimed in a tweet. The words murder, racist, and sad were all trending in the days following George Floyd's killing as protests began to take hold. Hedonometer is reflecting Twitter's live blog and societal disruption, the pandemic, pervasive structural racism, embarrassingly inadequate leadership, not to mention climate change or economic equality. Man, we're dealing with a lot of stuff here. A lot of stuff, yeah. So the saddest day, May 26th on Twitter. Here's an interesting one. A fully intact giant squid washed up on a beach in South Africa. A rare sighting for an animal that was only first captured on video in its natural habitat 7 years ago. Seeing it at first really took my breath away, Adele Gross says, who spotted the dead animal while on a walk with her husband in Britannia Bay. Honestly, it looked like a majestic prehistoric animal. Giant squids, who usually live between 2,000 and 3,200 feet below the surface, are only ever seen once every few years, and washed-up carcasses are rarely intact, Michael Viccioni says, an invertebrate zoologist at the Smithsonian's National Museum of Natural History. Yeah, a live squid, by the way, has never been caught. Gross estimated the squid to be about 13 feet long, weighed about 660 pounds, which is actually on the smaller side. Smaller? Holy cow. Anyways, the female giant squids could measure 60 feet across. Oh, the Kraken lives. The carnivorous creature has 8 arms and 2 longer tentacles, all with powerful suction that help them capture prey. Oh, they're ugly, too. They are ugly. All right? No wonder it's so deep in the ocean. It's ugly. It's got to hide its ugliness in the water. Giant squids, and this is another reason not to go in the ocean, by the way. Giant squids can feed upon fish, squids, octopuses, nautiluses, cuttlefish, and even other giant squids. Piccioni said giant squids bite off little pieces of their prey with their beak. The squid's esophagus goes through the middle of the brain, so it has to bite pieces of food so that they'll be small enough to squeeze through the brain. Even the squid's eyes are giant. At 1 foot long, they are the largest of any animal. Gross told the media that they weren't sure how the squid died. We had big swells the night before, and it was my understanding that the swell washed this beautiful squid onto the beach in the early hours of the morning. We all looked for bite marks or injuries and couldn't really find anything. It's still ugly. I'm looking at this thing right now. It probably saw itself. There was probably a reflection, and it gave itself a heart attack because it's so ugly. That's just being blunt. And finally, the crime allegedly cuts deep for one Florida man. Oh, yeah, we're going back to Florida. Florida man with an unfortunate face tattoo. 25-year-old Justin Crouch thought it would be cool at one time in his life to tattoo a machete under his left eye. Yeah. Well, guess what old Justin was just charged with? He was arrested in connection to a machete attack. No kidding. No kidding. An unnamed victim, an adult male, told cops that he got into engagement with a man who had a tattoo of a machete on his face, and it turned into an argument for no reason, and it kicked him out of his home. Oh, so the guy knew the guy. The victim then reportedly asked Couch if he could grab his wallet and phone before leaving. The suspect allegedly told him, "There's nothing for you to leave." Apparently angered, cop says the Couch brandished a machete, here we go, and began striking the victim in the arm and the leg with the flat side of the blade. Couch allegedly swung the bladed weapon at the victim's face, who put up his left forearm in defense. The victim passed out from severe pain after being sliced in the arm by the giant knife. The suspect reportedly took the injured victim to a friend's home, who later took him to hospital. Well, that's nice that they waited. Couch was arrested and charged with aggravated battery. Machete and machete. That's amazing. Thank you, Florida man, for keeping it real. Thought of the Day happens every night at this time, where we ask a question on our Facebook and Twitter pages, then read your responses on the air because we love the audience participation around here. Today's Thought of the Day is as follows. What are your thoughts on Donald Trump and his comments about disclosing aliens at Roswell? Mr. Skeptic calls it a distraction. Chip calls it a distraction from current affairs or from other government projects and programs. Marty, the fact that he was being interviewed by his son makes me think this is an episode is just like his recent Bible photo op that was orchestrated by his daughter. Trump thinks his kids know more than the experts do. We shall see. Chip, this is stage 2 or 3 of desensitizing the public about aliens and UFOs. Something is about to happen that will change the way we look at the world. I don't know if it'll be a Project Blue Beam hologram or the real deal. Sueno, no fear in his tone or mannerisms. To me, this indicates the threat narrative is complete and utter BS. I'm no fan of Trump, but I doubt he'd allow TTSA's brand of info warfare. In fact, I've never heard anyone in the U.S. government or Intel act scared about ET or other than select TTSA members. Marcus, Hollywood wants disclosure on how you make the Pillsbury Doughboys' eyes blink. I want to know. Ask Science Bob, and you will have my thoughts as well. Jason, he's so full of BS, I ignore everything he says. If he were to disclose anything, no one would believe him, and it would be set the disclosure movement about 10 years back. Really weird and random. First, the Pentagon releases the videos, and now there's this weird for sure. Maybe they're going to start releasing little by little more and more info, Jason says, at Joker's Wild. Brick, I'm not sure how much more obvious the government can make this short of drawing a picture. The Pentagon waited for a global pandemic and showed their cards. Basically, here you go. And no one cared. ET UFO disclosure says he's subdating the public to make the complacent for disclosure, and the public can't figure it out. UFOA, this is positive. Peter, well, someone needs to start explaining a few things, including what flew directly over my house at 4:30 in the morning, heading south directly over Chris Hadfield Airport in Sarnia, Ontario. I have 2 more pictures as well. Well, that looks like That looks like the satellite Skylink. That's what that looks like. At least that's my opinion. What do you think? I don't know. Go on Twitter. You can find it out there at Spaced Out Radio. Let's see. What else we got here? Chris, I think his original intention was to disclose what he discovered upon taking office. He prides himself on being transparent and made statements prior to being elected that he would divulge the government's knowledge of the origins of UAVs. It's become apparent, though, that someone got to him and persuaded him to change his mind. He has made contradicting statements in several interviews that leads a rational person to believe he wants to disclose, but that he has been advised against it. Michael, he has been asked about being briefed on the Tic Tac UFO in an interview, and he said he didn't believe in UFOs, even though that a verified UFO video it was. I think Hillary would have more than likely revealed them, but Trump's the guy in the seat right now. Thank you to everybody playing on the Thought of the Dave. We will do it all again at the next show, because that's what we do. Thank you to Captain Shirk for the wonderful SOR Newswire, and to Yossi Ronen for coming on in talking about his ET experience. We got Mr. Ron Bumblefoot Thal rocking in the background with Little Brother is Watching. Bumblefoot is the official music of Spaced Out Radio, rocking us in and out of every single show. Get your horns up for the guitar god himself. Special thanks to everybody listening in at home, in your cars, at work, wherever you may be. Thank you to everybody participating in our chat rooms on YouTube, LGAB, Spreaker, Revolution Radio, Facebook, the Space Travelers Club at our website, and all the snarkers and snarkettes at hashtag Spaced Out Radio on Twitter. You were magnificent, beautiful, and your snark was stunning. Please remember, this show is copyright by Spaced Out Radio and SOR Media Ventures Limited. Thank you so much for choosing to share your evening with us, because together, my friends, we're watching. We own the night. Mr. Bumblefoot, we need a favor. We need you to take us home. The Woo train has docked for the night, but soon we will ride again. Your ticket never expires, your seat is always available, and there's room for you to bring a friend or 2, maybe 3. We will talk to you very soon again, and we will depart on another exciting adventure of Spaced Out Radio. Good night.